When I first heard your version of Back in the High Life Again, I was wondering if you were singing it straight or ironically. How did you approach it?
Let me answer you this way. I wrote a song a few years ago for a great, unique American director, Alan Rudolph. I wrote the song Searching for a Heart for a movie of his that didn't do very well. And strangely, for an Alan Rudolph movie, they had one of those test showings for a test audience in a mall, in a theater in a mall, way out in the valley in LA. And the audience was laughing and hooting, but I guess they were laughing in the wrong places or something. Didn't go well. They have a focus group that gives their opinion, and they give them $5, so they give a bad opinion, and I hope they'll get compensated for that. I don't know, but I stood outside the theater with Alan Rudolph, and I said, I guess they don't know if it's ironic or not. They don't know if you're trying to be funny or if you're not trying to be funny, Alan. And he said, well, do they ask Neil that?
Well, let me ask you, song-wise, does Warren Zevon have a split personality, the sensitive balladeer versus the arch narrator?
Well, if I had a split personality, I'd only know it half at a time, wouldn't I? With all due respect to Alanis Morissette, who I think is very, very good, I think that irony is something, if you define that you're being ironic, you're automatically not being ironic. And vice versa, whatever that means.
When these two elements of your songwriting personality are in the same song, the sentimental Warren and the arch Warren are both in, I think, For My Next Trick I'll Need a Volunteer and Hostage O, which are both on the new album. Is it harder for you to get across what you're trying to say than when you clearly do a sentimental ballad or clearly do a humorous song?
Unless I'm overwhelmed by some kind of toxic emotion, I don't know if it's ever completely clear to anybody what they're trying to get across or what they want. And also, my parents came from such incredibly different backgrounds, and we're so different from each other. There's always been, I guess, two sides to me. That's what people always tell me, and that's what people seem to perceive about me. But again, I try to spend as little time as possible addressing what people perceive about me.
And necessarily everything doesn't have to be a clear, linear message that a song gets across. And you've got these images sometimes, I'll throw a few of them at you. Sentimental hygiene, monkey wash, donkey rinse, an invalid haircut. And my favorite new one is, I hate it when you stick your hand inside my head and switch all my priorities around. Where does this stuff come from?
I don't know.
Well, do you keep a notebook around for when these phrases arise and then jot them down?
Well, certainly like a comedy writer or anything else, you think of a phrase and you're on the phone with a friend and say, you got a pencil? That's a goofy idea. I don't really keep notebooks or anything too much because if I get an idea that I like well enough, then I can go to work. Then I have a job again and I work on that song until I develop something out of the original idea.
There's one song on Life Will Kill You that is packed with outstanding imagery. It's almost a Celtic gospel song. And it also stands out because it has some of the few harmonies on the whole album. Fistful of Rain. What inspired that song?
Jorge. That was Jorge's idea. I think we kind of saw it as a Buddhist gospel song. About the harder you try to hold on to things, the more they slip through your fingers sometimes. And the more they flow, the more they stay with you.